Buenos bananas, YouTube. This is the Wide Open Prepper coming at you again, live yet pre-recorded at the exact same time. Wanted to do a video today about the moment that the shit hits the fan, if there is such a thing. There's an event. I don't know what it would be. Possibly we wake up in the morning and find that the stock market has crashed 2,500 points, or the Dow rather. Who knows? Someone declared war. Rather than get into the scenarios, I want to talk specifically about, as preppers, we're going to be a little bit more on guard, obviously, than your average everyday Joe that isn't thinking about it or hasn't thought about it at all. And what I've often thought is that I don't want to run to the store immediately in an effort to acquire things, not necessarily, well, it is for prep, but hopefully by this time, myself or you in this scenario, we have already prepped the items that are going to last long term in terms of groceries or medicine, things that would come from a drugstore, things that would come from a Walmart, things that is supplies, any sort of supplies. We'll have already prepped a fair amount. But I think there's going to be a window of time for preppers particularly where we will have the ability to hit the store, either grocery or drugstore, and stock up on supplies that aren't necessarily super long term, whether it be food, things like chocolate or juice or things of that nature, because we're going to want the things that we're used to, and that would be a really good opportunity to grab those items. I mean, literally, you'd be trying to time it perfectly for when that disaster hits. So I think we have to have a plan. Well, let me rephrase that. We don't have to do anything. I've often thought that I should have a plan if this situation happens. So obviously timing is the key issue. So are we going to kind of see and know that it's a raw situation or an SHTF before most people really realize what's going on? And even if they do realize it at the same time, are they going to think as quickly as we do if we have a contingency plan to get to the store and get that stuff? I think most people are going to be either staring at the TV screen or staring at the sky or who knows what. And we can be acting and we can be in action. So question being, first off, is what store do you want to hit? Do you want to go to Walmart where everybody else is? Or do you want to hit that store that's kind of out of the way and maybe not very popular, but still has all the same things? Maybe they're more expensive. Maybe they don't have everything under the same store. But I think I've often thought there's a couple stores in my area that aren't super popular. I don't think they'd be the ones that people were rushing to. I think Walmart would get hit hard, obviously, first. So I think choosing the store and having a plan and actually putting it on paper, whether it's on your phone or somewhere that you can have it on you, so that when it strikes, you can act quickly and you know what supplies you're going to get. Now, given if you're going to a store that isn't an all-in-one, you might have to make, 2 trips, one to the grocery store and one to the drugstore, and who knows, maybe a big 5 run. Another question is, what if you're at work when it happens? If you're married, maybe your wife can hit the store and have that list of things to get and those supplies. I think having the plan either written down or on a digital document would save a lot of panic, because even though we know the things that we would want, if that happened, our heart would be beating fast, we'd be going up and down those aisles, and we're not going to want to draw attention to ourselves when we're in that store. We're going to want to look calm, cool, and collected, because if we're that guy or that girl in the store just ripping stuff off the shelf, we're going to draw the wrong types of attention. So again, I think Walmart would be a bad choice. If that's the only place you've got in your area, then tough shit. So again, keeping cool in the store, Maybe there's already people that kind of have an idea of what's going on, but again, we wouldn't want to draw attention to ourselves. And that brings up the concept of carrying your pistol with you during that type of situation. Now, what if you live in a state where you don't have a concealed carry permit? Well, maybe at that point in time, in that situation, you might want to roll the dice and put that 9mm behind your back, because if you're hauling out of that grocery store with a big pile of stuff, again, you're going to draw attention no matter what, especially in that type of situation. And boy, if you've got to protect those items, which God forbid that we'd have to get into a situation where we have to pull a gun on somebody to protect our groceries. But just in case, you never know. I think that would be the time, even if you don't have a concealed carry permit, to maybe throw one on you. And again, I'm not suggesting that anybody break the law in a peaceful time, but we're not talking about a peaceful time. We're talking about a shit hits the fan scenario, raw scenario. So anyhow, that's it. I'm not going to go any further than that. I just wanted to bring that concept up and maybe start a discussion. Any comments, holes in my game, which I'm sure there's plenty. Let's talk about it. And then on a side note, as I like to do, I like to kind of do a couple things in my videos. I wanted to talk about something that I've done recently that has really made a difference in my psyche and my happiness level during the day. And it's been tough to do, and I'll tell you, it's that I've stopped watching the news. Now, for several years now, I have not had cable at my house, so I've no longer have Fox News running all the time in my house. Plus I have kids, I don't want them seeing that. But what I found in the last 3 or 4 years is, when I'm at work or on my free time, man, I'm on that internet and I'm looking at Real Clear Politics and Google News, which I can't stand. It's so tough to find a unbiased news source. Real Clear Politics was good, but again, I don't know. They pull from all different sources. But man, I was just pounding down the news. I was watching videos, I was reading articles, and I was getting to the point where I would wake up in the morning, I would literally open my eyes, that cell phone would be laying on the bed next to me, and within 7 or 8 seconds of opening my eyes, I had that phone in hand, I had my eyes on that screen, and I was reading the news stories of the day. And every day when I would wake up, after about a minute of being up, I would be completely crapped out from the news. So that's just not a good way to start your day. And, I would go to work and, maybe hit some news in between, projects or what have you. And I would get home and my wife was there and my kids are there. And I'm turning these things over in my head, these things that I heard about today, or what Obama said, or what the state of Illinois is now allowing their citizens to do, or whatever the story is, Benghazi or ISIS, or, you name it, the news cycle is every second. And it was distracting me from my children, from my wife, and from my own self. If I had a free moment, I was looking at the news, and you don't have time to critically think when you're doing that. So about 3.5 weeks ago, I decided I'm going to stop cold turkey, and I did, and it was tough. It literally, I used to smoke. When I quit smoking, for those of you that smoke that quit, you know what it's like. It was like that. It's like coming off a drug. And I've cheated a couple times. I'm at work and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And then bam, I just got to see what's going on. So I encourage those of you out there that are news junkies, try not watching or viewing any news for 48 hours. And number one, you're going to see how difficult it is. And number two, you're going to see what a different state of mind you're in. I do believe that this would be the case for anybody that is in a technologically advanced, I jacked that word up, technologically advanced society that has access to web and all that sort of thing, to stop completely cold turkey for 48 hours. And I tell you, you get a different view of the world. That's the good side. It's mostly good. The one thing I did realize after going 2 weeks of not hearing about the news is I was completely out of the loop. And when I did look, I was like, wow, you know, you could miss something. But you know what? I think the sacrifice isn't worth it. You know, I think we owe it to ourselves to proclaim our lives back and focus on more important things. For me personally, it's the Lord Jesus Christ and my relationship with God. And that's far more important than reading about the latest tragedies in the world. So anyhow, that's it. This is the Wide Open Prepper. Hope all you guys are doing good out there. Comments, suggestions, complaints, bitches, bring it on. God bless America, and God bless all you guys. Talk to you soon.